ISF events. We are going to bid. But you know, for you to bid, you must first of all get fees for some of the big ones. Is as much as 200,000. And for the gymnasium, it is $2 million. When I talk of 200,000, I'm talking in dollars now. $200,000 is about 750 million. And when I talk of $2 million, that's about 7 what? 7 million. So 7 billion. So we are going to sit with National Council. Another one. Now, we have a plan, as I told you, to advocate for government to provide funding for upgrading sports and best, so that the government can provide a what? A fund to be used for competition. You know, we have been missing a lot when we talk to the people in government. We have been having these projects, side visits, but when we talk to them, I can assure you that the response is good and this is going to work. So, but what we are saying is that for government license a school, there should be minimum what? Standards. And for a smaller area where students can play football, you have within your building where you can have table tennis, badminton. Then finally we are now
before you are participants for this workshop, drawn from our 19 sports zones and the executive members of the USSA.
From the 19 zones that constitute Uganda Secondary School Sports Association. Also in front of you are experts, the instructors for we don't win consistently in Uganda. It's first and foremost that we start very late. We start late as
Njagala kwebaza ministry, government ya Uganda ne Ministry of Education etaddemu ensimbi okubanga tutrainingibwa. Nze ndowooza kino kirungi nnyo eri abasomesa nti tugenda kuddayo wansi tube nga tukola omulimo gwe tuba nga tutegeera bulungi nnyo. Buli obadde okola ebintu naye ndowooza nga byokola si bye bisinga obulungi. Naye ndabira ddala nti kuno okusoma kutusomyemu kugenda tuyamba okuba nga tutegeka abaana obulungi okusobola okufunamu ebitone ebirungi ddala.
Omusomo guno gwa capacity building gugenda kuyamba abasomesa okubanga baweereza obulungi nga bakola ebyo byennyini bye bategeddeko obulungi. Omuntu agenda kutandika okubanga aweereza ng'addukanya ebyemizannyo mu ssomero naye ng'alina ky'amanyi, kijja kuyamba n'abaana bano bennyini abayita mu mikono gyaffe okubanga bagenda kuba bayita mu mikono gy'abantu abatendekeddwa obulungi era abayize ki ekyokukola.
My target is to have games teachers who know what they are doing with the kids, so that what they do, they do the right thing right away from the young age. And also to have students and pupils starting training in their professional careers of sports when they are still very young. So next week we shall be having, here we have started with administration course for the executive committee of USSA, and also the secretaries and chairmen from the zones. But now, later after this, we are going to have the same courses in zones and in districts. But most importantly, next week, we shall start on capacity building for coaches and referees and also media officers. And this one will not only be games teachers, but most importantly, we are starting also with the children from the age of 10 and upwards. We have already registered a big number, about 760, and we know we are going to have 2 trainings, one for December and another one for January. Our target in the next 3 years is train not less than 10,000 pupils to become coaches, media officers, and then referees, and then start on their career when they are still young. You cannot identify talent before you are trained. We are training the teachers and the students themselves to identify talent. And then you cannot develop talent when you do not have definitely the right people, the right coaches, the right umpires and referees, and also the right facilities. We are now working with government. We have written a program to make sure that at least in every zone we have got good facilities for competition. We have also requested government to make it a precondition that for every school to be licensed, private school, it must have some sports facilities. And good enough, the new curriculum, the lower curriculum in secondary school provides for enough time for extracurricular activities and especially sports. And with that, we are very sure that Uganda will definitely soon be #1.
People must understand why they're involved in the sports subsector and why they're sportsmen or games masters and so on. So what if the executive of the Uganda Secondary School Sports Association has done is, for me, I want to commend them that they're beginning from the basics, because that's what has been lacking. Like you've seen things I've been telling them. Most times they bring in students or people who are not students to come and compete in games which are for the secondary students. Sometimes also they have gone ahead to retain the same people year in, year out. And to make matters worse, some of them are even given to go to regional competitions, which have put it clearly to them as a ministry, we want only students who are at school. We want them to help us identify the raw talent which is down there within those secondary schools to participate. And this all comes with capacity building. Because what has been happening, every school is interested in winning. But are you interested in identifying the talent, in promoting that talent? No. The second message for me has again been on the issues of linkages. For instance, we have the federations. Federation is where we government work with them directly in terms of international competition. So while we appreciate that we support secondary schools when they also go for international competition, but in terms of development of the talent of that student or that child, it must go through the federations. And those are the areas I've addressed them. The other one, of course, is the issue of infrastructure. It is true, and I want to re-emphasize, in this term of office, ours is to see how do we work closely with Parliament to put in some money to develop our infrastructure, both at districts, at the regional, and at the city level. That's an area where we shall. And we have already come up with a template on what is entailed with having an infrastructure. And that I have another meeting next week with the sports officers across the country to give them a position and a plan which we have. If a district wants to develop its own stadium, we have already a developed template on what is entailed in that infrastructure, not only for one sport, but many sports disciplines across that. That's what I've been sharing with them.
We are here as the instructors of the capacity building program for this course. And the purpose is we want to create it minus professional managers. That's why we have segmented our course into training in terms of governance, in terms of understanding the sport itself, and then how the human resource can get in the resources of finance. So our program is to make sure that all teachers that are attending this course understand the concept of governing sport, in particular, the different types of sport we have in the country. So at the end of it all, we expect them to get back and implement exactly what we shall be telling them.